So what this is going to do is show you how revenue sharing works. Let's break it down. This is the part you've just got to watch. It just blew me away. So we're not a franchise, we're a national company, and according to NAR, the National Association of Realtors, the average agent sells 6 homes a year. We've been talking to agents who sell 8 to 10. We're going to bring this back to agents who sell just 6 homes a year. What would happen? And then according to NAR, the average sales price coast to coast is $275. The average commission, sadly, is 2.5. I know some of you get 3.5. Some of you get 3. You'll make more. Some of you have a higher sales price, like $475, and sell way more than 6. I'm sure a bunch of you do. Again, I'm going to use $275 at 2.5. It'll just be better. I'm dialing this back. I'm being conservative. So let's just say the first year. Now just play along with me here. How many agents could you personally introduce to eXp? Could you introduce 5? I'm going to give you a 5-year plan, kind of like a 401k for real estate, an exit strategy. Not that you have to exit real estate, but how would you like not to have to work as hard as you've been working for all of these years? Could you introduce 5 this year? Could you do that each year for 5 years? If so, at the end of 5 years, you will have referred 25 people to eXp. And in my example, I'm going to say who are averaging 6 sales a year at $275 and a 2.5% commission. And then how many people do you think those agents could introduce over the next 5 years? What if they refer 1 a year for 5 years? That'd be 5 in a 5-year period. And then the agents, they tell even less. They tell 3 in a 5-year period. Then those agents tell even less. They tell 2 in a 5-year period. That's like 1 agent every 2.5 years. I'm really dialing this back because you told 25, 20 unlocks level 5 and 25 gets you to level 6. However, we do not get paid on level 7. You must refer 40. You need 25. So you're not going to be paid on level 7. So what this calculator does is it shows you your annual income, not one-time income, but your annual income with eXp through revenue sharing once you complete the above picture. Now, here people are like, what was the above picture? You personally introduced 25 agents to eXp. Now, this is not that hard to do, but 25 people you introduce to eXp in the next 5 years who average 6 sales a year, and they tell some agents who tell some agents, it kind of compounds and accumulates out. Okay. And I ask people, what do you think it will be? And they say, well, I don't know, like 80,000 a year, 180,000 a year. This one guy is kind of a math guy. He says, oh, no, it's going to compound out. It's closer to 280, over $250,000 a year. Well, here it is. And I promise you, this is not broken. It's $2.1 million a year is your annual income 5 years from now with eXp revenue sharing once you complete the above picture, which is right here. What is this? Can you refer, if you want to make $2.1 million a year outside of sales, because now you're not just a salesperson, you're building a real estate company with eXp, with me, with the person who invited you here. So could you introduce 25 agents? There's 2 million out there. Could you introduce 25 agents who average 6 sales a year, not a month, a year at $275? Could you find those people? And then they tell some agents who tell some agents who tell some agents. This is not hard. We already have people who've introduced 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and we haven't even plugged in any of those kind of numbers here. Again, you did the lion's share of the work. Nobody did anything like this. And here's your income, $2.1 million a year. Now, I was showing this to a friend of mine and he says, hey, could you change this back to 15? And I said, sure, why? And he says, well, I'm not as outgoing as you, but I think I could introduce 3 agents a year. And if I did this each year for 5 years, I could refer 15. He says, I think this is more realistic for me. I said, okay, well, you lose level 6 because it takes 25 to get level 6 revenue sharing. You lose level 5 because you have to refer 20. Referring 15 will just get you paid on 3 levels. So he says, yeah, that's more me. And I think I can do this in 5 years. And I said, okay, well, before you do that, you need to know there's nowhere near 2.1 million. And now this is a friend of mine. He says, I knew it was too good to be true. I knew it. And I said, don't go freaking out too much because $655,000 a year is not bad. And he's like, really? Okay. And he signed up and he's with us today. So if you'd like to make $655,000 a year, 5 years from now, you just need to refer 15 agents to eXp who average 6 sales a year. Then each of those agents will refer some agents who will refer some agents, and it compounds and accumulates out. So I'll end with this. I showed this to another friend who's a small broker on her own, and she says, "Can you drop it to 10?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" Well, she owned an independent brokerage at the time, and she had about 14 agents working for her. She was struggling to grow every year, and that's in addition to retaining and nurturing all the agents she had already with her company. She said, "All of my agents, they average probably 6. That's what my agents do. They're more part-time agents." She says, "I think 10 of them will definitely move with me." She says, "What would this earn me if I moved to eXp?" I said, "Well, you're going to lose level 4 because you have to tell 15. You're only going to get paid on 2 levels." So she says, "Yeah, I could see that happening for sure." Now she's an independent, and she says, "What would that earn me?" I got to be honest with you. I was almost nervous to hit the go button. I'm thinking 30, 40,000 a year. I'd never calculated anything that low. Well, how's $250,000 a year? $251,000. You're talking about a 401k for real estate. Or you could just not try. "Well, I'm going to stay with my old real estate company. I'm going to sell my tail off." Really, that's why I left Keller Williams, because I knew in 5 years I'd still be selling my tail off then, just like I was when I left. I know my future is predictable, and so is yours.